What's up, guys? Good evening. My name is Jesse Hughes.
And I am Daniel A. Gilmore.
And this is Show and Tell, a podcast about movies. I want to do something we haven't done in a while. I want to take a shot. Because I feel like I have to talk about this movie.
Oh.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Hey.
So, was that bad?
We're both 21, kids. We're talking about Specials, The Specials.
2000, written and directed by James Gunn.
It was not directed by James Gunn.
Oh, wasn't?
I can't remember the name of the guy that directed it. Because I had a hard time when I was trying to find the movie so that I could order it. It wasn't under James Gunn for director.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, he wrote it, definitely. It was directed by Craig Mazin, who has directed...
Yeah, what else did he direct?
Let's see. He's directed 2 movies. Superhero movie, which I guess was the scary movie equivalent of comic book movies. That's based on the poster. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And then the Specials. So that was an 8-year stretch. He is a writer. He's written 9 movies. The Huntsman, Winter's War.
That's the new...
Hangover Part 3, Identity Thief, Hangover Part 2. So a bunch of derivative stuff, basically. All right. So I'll say this about this movie, and this is what Amy and I talked about when we finished it, is that this movie is a fantastic idea. Every superhero has a day that they don't use their powers, probably. Every superhero probably has a day where they don't use their powers, and this movie is supposing that these superheroes as a team are having this day where they aren't using their powers. And I think that's a really cool idea. The execution was a little off, and the directing even worse still. But I love the idea of this movie. It's probably the least amount of notes I've ever had, not to say that I don't have any. But I'm looking forward to talking about the movie because I do love the idea of it.
I thought you would at least appreciate it.
I liked the intro, you've got the text, superheroes, they're doing amazing stuff all day, saving people. The Specials, are part of this team. This is not one of those days. I liked that. I was like,
6th or 7th.
Okay. The 6th or 7th greatest, which after watching the movie, you have a hard time believing, but they're even that high on the list. They're introducing all the characters at the beginning. The second character they introduced, Nightcrawler?
Amok.
Yeah.
Or Amok.
That's what I thought.
It was Jamie Kennedy, probably the best performance, I think, in the movie.
He was good. As he expressed his desire to be a villain in the middle of the movie is kind of where, I kind of enjoyed his performance. Rob Lowe, Thomas Hayden Church, Judy Greer, probably the oldest movies I've seen with any of those actors in it other than like Wings, the TV show for Thomas Hayden Church. But, great actors. Yeah, good cast. James Gunn, I realized a couple minutes in, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's James Gunn. And then I looked up his picture to make sure. And he did really good. I liked his character. I like I found him relatable. So
Minute Man.
It's Minute Man.
I love you, Minute Man.
I thought it was Minute Man. And then they've got Crossword Man at the beginning was the note that I put, but that's smart man.
Well, he's not doing a crossword,
Professor.
Though. He's doing a word search.
A word search. That's what I meant.
That's one of my first notes. The first one is they're interviewing Nightbird, and she says, so what if they're not the best team? Like, I like Winger better than Bon Jovi. And I was like, well, I agree. But then, my note there was just, would the smartest man in the world really do a word search?
Is that how you would spend your time if you were the smartest man?
I feel like no. Like, word searches aren't difficult.
If you're going to do anything, you're going to do a crossword or...
Like Sudoku?
Sudoku, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Or nonograms or something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of better ways if he wasn't inventing or something. Or just reading a book.
Or building something that allows him to smell up to 300 yards, or was it miles? Or
I don't know.
He was never given an application for that, but he made it nonetheless. Why not?
Well, I think as an inventor, you probably just make dumb shit sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And your day off is when you test it out.
Once everybody's introduced, then they're all kind of convening at the Specials headquarters.
Yeah.
And, the great Strobe hangs up a portrait like a fan did or something.
Yeah.
I just love that it says the Strobe on it.
A fan made it.
But just like that they, obviously who it is.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you have to still like title it. And then just Thomas Hayden Church talking in the third person the entire time.
Yeah. His character was funny, humorously arrogant. The main characters, Thomas Hayden Church character and Rob Lowe's character, they are very full of themselves. So they're hard to get behind, but then there's all these other littler characters, these smaller characters that are easier to relate to, although they're all pretty inept, which made it a little hard to bear. But nonetheless, easier to bear than the main characters.
Well, I think that's the point, is why they're not that great of a superhero team, too.
Yeah.
Just that they're all kind of terrible people.
They make that very clear.
And dysfunctional.
Yeah.
They can't get that, foothold, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. They're there for the oddballs, the outcasts. Go ahead.
Fantastic speech, though.
Yeah, that's the first scene I really liked, was his speech. You're talking about...
That's the end.
The end speech, yeah.
But no, I have that here. That's my next note. Just that speech is fantastic that he gives at the very beginning.
His first speech, I might as well be urinating on that man, because he's basically an analogy that we are all connected as heroes. So if someone with superpowers is going to do something bad, that might as well be me. So I need to be the person that represents the good. And it was a cool moment. The music was good during that moment. Just his speech in general. The directing is very PC, like it would cut between characters, and it felt like it didn't have the energy that it needed. It was a little slow, and I realized directing this movie or filming scenes any faster than they did would have resulted in it being less than 80 minutes, and then you really can hardly call it a movie.
Well, it already has filler scene in it.
Yeah, it has a lot of filler in it, but I think that was one of the problems, is like the screenplay was okay. The writing was okay, but I felt like the directing was where the opportunity was to make that writing work, and the directing, the director kind of botched it.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst aspect of it, I think.
Yeah,
because the writing and the acting are both pretty spot.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, Weevil's walking downstairs, and he meets Nightbird for the first time.
Yeah,
she goes, "Oh, where are your antenna?" He goes, "Oh, I only wear them near the press." I rewound it just to double check. He's on camera doing the interview for the Cosgrove Toys,
and
he doesn't have them on.
Yeah, touche. I thought that the only time he wears them is during the event where they're revealing the action figures. But yeah, speaking of the interviews, that kind of reminded me of The Incredibles, and of course The Incredibles came out after this, so I thought that was kind of cool. I wonder if this was the first movie to kind of incorporate that interview process into a superhero movie.
I just like the idea of 8.
I love the idea of 8 as a character. Yeah, I didn't catch it when they first introduced that character, but the later scene with 8 is one of my favorite. Is definitely my favorite scene in the movie.
Definitely
we'll talk about that.
The most powerful scene.
Yeah, when we get there, that was a great scene. I like that.
But then he that's when right before he does the speech, they're paparazzi, smoking cigarettes in a bathroom.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I just like that idea. Yeah. If you're a superhero, they would hound you down like a celebrity.
That's true. Yeah.
And I just kind of equates into fame, and like you were saying, if superheroes do this,
that's a direction that kind of Watchmen went. I found all of the characters interesting in some way, except for the alien. I could not stand any of the scenes with him in it, except for the dancing number towards the end. No comedy in that. No, I just did not like.
It's not funny. I think it was supposed to be that dynamic. Yeah. With her,
it was
with Power Chick and him, though. Anyway.
Yeah, and that was well implemented because of the performance from Power Chick, and not that the performance from Alien Dude was bad. He did his best with what he was told to do.
Well, I just Weevil walks in and offers them a raisin.
A raisin?
Yeah, he just has a little package of raisins.
Oh,
and he's just raisin? Oh, he's hey, raisin? and then a mug waves him off. Mr. Smart doesn't react at all. Then US Bill goes like this to grab one, and he just completely doesn't see him or ignores him. And he just looks so sad.
Poor US Bill.
Yeah, and then that's when they're oh, is that new girl hot? Yeah, I want to fuck her.
It's so sad, the way, and her rant at the end, as she is getting fed up with everybody, is true. Of the experience she's having with all of these men who are misogynistic and really just kind of.
Well, again, I think that harkens back to the point I was saying.
Yeah,
it was just it's about fame, and I think you put these ideals in your head,
right?
Of a celebrity. That was, I think, even what we were talking about before this, Leonardo DiCaprio winning the award,
right?
It's you get attached to these people for whatever reason, and they're just people. They're not, a celebrity is a person,
right?
And it doesn't make them a good person or something because you like them in a movie. I came here to fight crime, and then you don't realize that these are people.
Yeah,
they have their own issues and lives and stuff.
Yeah,
when they're not fighting crime, you only see one aspect of their lives.
Yeah, that's actually a good perspective on this, and really fame in general.
But it came up too as just the media skews everybody a certain way. Malcolm Jamal Warner from the Cosby Show is in the new OJ thing they're doing. And he was on a talk show talking about it, and they asked him about Bill Cosby. obviously, and he was like, I'm not here to judge him like one way or the other. Like he's this person I grew up with, but I can talk about how the media is like portraying him, and it's like the same case with everything.
And that's
and it's like whether or not it's true, the media is going to slant it one way they want to.
Exactly, and it's hard for the average person to ignore that and not develop an opinion of someone on that, like Michael Jackson, as a child molester. That's
and same thing, whether or not it was true.
Like, exactly, that's what most people thought when he died. Was you had that side that was always the king of pop, and then you had that side that was, well, the media told me he's a child molester, so do I care?
Yeah, I feel like people are like a lot more forgiving with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I think so.
Than other celebrities.
Yeah,
but I said like a lot of this, like the acting is in like minutia.
Yeah,
like U.S. Bill is just kind of piping in. And Amok just like really flippantly is like, just shut up or something. Yeah. And then he says something else like off topic, and he just like gives him like a look for 1 second. And it's just like this beat, and then like it's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's just like this look in his face, and he just goes immediately back to what he's talking about. They're getting ready for the party, and they're on the thing, and it's Power Chick and Deadly Girl. She's like cleaning Alien Orphan up, and then that she names him or whatever. He's like, Alien Orphan's not a name.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, say thank you for the toys or whatever. Yeah. He's like, thank you for the Gelson.
Gelson, yeah.
But I say that all the time. I don't know. Maybe you'll catch me now.
Now you know.
But that's just like the random quote from this. I'm just like, thank you for the Gelson.
When did you see this? When it came out?
Like in high school. Yeah. It wasn't probably immediately when it came out. Yeah. Because it was like one of those things under the radar. But it was probably like 2002. I believe Thomas Hayden Church talking to Zip Boy.
Oh, yeah.
And just I like the idea, too, of like real world application for superpowers. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, I'm going to be a welding ass.
Yeah.
Later in the movie.
Yeah.
But just, I thought that was, like, a really good idea, too. Just, like, why would everybody, like, want to save people?
Yeah.
And stuff.
Well, that's true.
Use that to make money and do other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, which is what a lot of these characters are doing. I wonder what their pay is. I mean, clearly the specials are there to answer calls. We find out at the end to answer calls for help, basically, and they clearly get paid because this is their job.
Yeah, I imagine it's from what it seems like it's a government thing.
Yeah,
and the government like doles out missions, and you probably get paid on like a mission basis.
Yeah, I'd do that. It'd be pretty cool. What would my superpower be?
Then it cuts into like the little history.
Oh yeah, which I liked. Yeah,
and just I just like Power Check, like, or he's like, he's even a fruit roll up.
Yeah,
I'd be yummy then.
It was so cheesy, but yeah, it was.
But there's a similar joke in like the '90s Generation X, and there's a character Mondo who has like absorption powers, and there's a line in it I always remember, and he's like, "I stay away from Jello" or something like that, and like rubs his fist.
That'll set you off for a while. How long until you can morph back? Or what do you do if you morph into something that can't touch anything else? How does she morph back into a human?
I don't know.
Does she have to touch a human?
Probably not. Probably you have some control over it.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. It's not a movie about like superheroes, really.
Exactly, it's not. Like as I was watching it, I got halfway through or so and thought, is this really a superhero movie? And I'm not gonna see them actually use their superpowers. And I was a little upset about it. But then I kind of realized that's not what the movie's about.
Yeah. But as I said, I love that idea, and it's so good.
I do. Exactly. Like as I adhered to what the idea of the movie was, I grew more and more attached to what the idea of the movie was, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thomas Hayden Church is arguing with
his wife,
Paget Brewster's character, about not backing him up about giving the speech.
Yeah,
and he's like, "You're saying it's a worm." It's
that was the most random thing ever.
Well, he's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's a little crazy.
But I just like that, like how emasculated is he by her?
Oh yeah, exactly.
She didn't back him up once. And she's like, "Oh, you're just saying I have a small penis."
Yeah, get over it. And she walks out, and then he goes to shave his chest. Yes. Which I just like, why not? That's exactly what you do in that situation. I gotta release some stress and shave my chest.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not that crazy or something. As he just lathering up foam.
This is what I want to do right now.
And then they're playing Double Dutch Bus as Amok and Weevil are driving to the event, and I love that song.
Oh, I like the soundtrack of this movie.
Soundtrack's
all the music I had never heard, but I liked all the music.
So, oh yeah, Double Dutch Bus. That was like I think '70s song. It's Fred something or other. I didn't write down his name. I know because I know it. Yep, Fred Durst in the '70s. But no, I was gonna say Williamson, but he's an actor. But I can't think of the name. But and then Missy Elliott sampled that for that one song.
Oh really? Okay.
And that's like it got popular again.
Yeah, Mr. Smart and U.S. Bill in the bathroom.
Okay, so that's the same scene, but just why was his mask off? as he's brushing his teeth, if he's super concerned about anybody ever finding out
Was
who
it
he
off?
is. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even
because it's
realize
off,
that.
and then he immediately like was like, "Oh, you can't see my
Puts it back
face," and he's
on.
like, "All right, I don't care. Just help me with this. Everything smells like piss."
It wasn't until the scene where he's on stage that I realized what he was, U.S. Bill, as the one on his chest. And
Yeah,
then
as a
what
dollar.
the whole time I'm just seeing his face and going, what the heck is he? Is he like castle eyes or something? I don't get it. And then,
it's a
yeah, and
dollar
then I got,
bill.
yeah, and then I got it after he got up in front and it's U.S. Bill. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I get it.
Totally makes sense.
That makes sense. I'm not in the dark anymore.
Then I love just the whole commercial.
Oh, for the
It's
action
just
figures,
such a
yeah,
good-
yeah.
such a good
It's
moment.
so
Just
Deli-
opposite of what they are too.
exactly. That's the funny thing. It's like what, you know, what? Where did you arrive at this? This is the character, and then they had budget cuts.
I'm wearing a Viking helmet.
Yeah, I'm black. I'm
Yeah,
not
oh, God,
black.
yes.
You have African features.
Features, yes. My new man.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's like, that was Richard Dawson.
Yeah, right before they do the action figure commercial, that everybody's looking for Mrs. Indestructible.
yeah.
And of course,
She's banging Weevil.
yeah, of course, Strobe, arbitrarily finds Weevil and Mrs. Indestructible having sex, and I thought it was funny that Weevil wears his mask while he's having sex, and of course, I realized after this that he wears his mask the whole movie, so
Yeah.
it's just part of him. Who knows? Maybe it's a scar that
He's been a superhero the longest since
yeah.
he was 14.
Exactly. Yeah. When he took over for his dad, weep, tear,
Yeah.
tear. Yeah, and then in the action figure scene when they remove the mask of U.S. Bill, I thought
And
that was
Bill's
hilarious.
face.
He's like, what?
Yeah. And then the evil alien Orphan.
Yeah.
And his henchman,
Yeah.
the clown.
Is that a meat thermometer in my hand?
Oh, God,
you don't
yes.
know. They don't know that you don't use a meat thermometer. See, this is all funny in writing, but the delivery was not. I didn't laugh at the time, but the idea is funny. You've got Minute Man walking on the sidewalk. And
Yes,
a
when
fan
Jenna
asks
Fisher.
from the convertible, "Can I get your autograph, Minute Man?" It's Minute Man, and then I was Jenna Fisher. Yeah, I was looking for that cameo because you had mentioned it. The Strobe walks in to talk to Zip Boy, and this is the first time they show a superpower.
Oh,
and
and he's
it's
quick.
a noise and a bad transition. It's the zip, and you moved there really fast. And that's one of the things that got me was we never really feel like these characters actually have powers, and that comes with this movie. Obviously, has a very low budget. Their costumes are appropriately low budget looking because they're a 7th or 8th place superhero team, but it's apparent in this and then in the scene in the end when they actually try to show their superpowers.
Oh, God. Well, that scene's super unnecessary.
But, yeah, there's
That's
no-
one of my problems with them.
Exactly. Yeah, I really loathe that scene based on what the idea of the movie is. Sunlight Girl approaches
Melissa Joan Hart.
Deadly Girl, Melissa Joan Hart. Clarissa explains it all.
Well, before that, they're in the bar, and they're just talking about all the crap. Mm-hmm. And just...
They kind of intersperse that
Yeah.
throughout what's going on in the next few scenes.
But I just like, he's like, I want a Mai Tai. You want a Mai Tai, green guy? He's like, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. It cuts to Mrs. Indestructible watching the wedding video from her and the Strobes.
The song that plays in
I like that song.
moment, but it's just... It's so fitting, but like hilarious
Yeah.
at the same. Because I
Yeah.
think there's literally a line in the song that says "church song."
Yeah, but yeah, I like that song. I've never heard it, but again, like all the music in this. But
Yeah, I know a few of the songs, like 3 of them that are in the soundtrack. Minute Man going to her Deadly Girl's house, and he's like, "I'm forming a plan." He's like, "All you have is a drawing of the Strobe with a butt for a head." Or whatever. It's a shitty plan.
the strong guy that Weevil talks to, like the strongest man in the world.
Yeah,
he
Michael
says-
Weatherly.
What's his superhero name? Do they ever
Olympus?
say that? Olympus. Okay.
Or
I thought his suit was hilarious. Just
Yeah.
this massive, like
But that's,
overcompensating suit.
There's Michael Weatherly, whom I know for a couple things, but I think primarily now he'd be famous. He's on NCIS or something like that. Which I don't watch any of those shows.
That's who that was. Okay,
But-
yeah. Amy does watch that.
Yeah.
So.
And then just one of my favorite lines in this: "What's a pussy weevil?"
Yeah.
Think of the
I get
pussy
it.
weevil. What's a
get it.
pussy weevil? Oh, I get it.
And then I like the line that was, I was thinking small. The world is our pussy. Then he kind of kills himself with that line. But
Yeah.
And then it's the scene between the Strobe and 8, which is
Well, just like him, the Strobe talking to the guy at the counter.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, like 8. I tell my friends they're so weird. You ought to believe it." And it's just like the worst line. And it's so ridiculous. And I just love it.
And then 8 walks in as 5
Yes,
because
The other three are
Three
on a
of
beach.
5 are on the beach, yeah. And then it...
just a super good speech.
Yeah, a really good speech, a really cool scene, a cool idea of a character, very unique, and then it brings back that story that Strobe said at the beginning, about being...
He's like, I'm the girl.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
the girl being peed on.
Yeah.
The being an arm of this superhero race. And it kind of brings that concept back, and I thought that was, great.
But just
scene.
like how he punctuates it too, because the specials need the specials.
Yeah,
because they're all just dysfunctional people.
Yeah, there's a lot of good lines.
Probably only work as a team with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because being in the specials, obviously at the end you find keeps Weevil grounded because he's just an asshole
right
at the end.
Exactly. The scene between U.S. Bill and his mom,
was
kind of tender.
Bill's mom, I just love her.
Yeah, like it was a.
It looks like you have a hat on.
It was a little overkill, but it was it was funny.
Yeah,
I laughed. And then they kept laughing, and they were like, "Okay, this is weird."
Yeah,
but it was a tenderish moment.
Stuff like just Bill.
Yeah,
he's so adorable.
Yeah, I like that we're finding out in all these interspersings. We're finding out the truth about who the characters are after they've disbanded. So the second half of the movie is to me much more entertaining than the first half because we actually get to see these characters for who they are. They're not part of the specials. They are individual characters, and we find out as they no longer have a team, who they are and what they would actually really like to do on their own. Mm-hmm. And so I did like that in the second half. And then they have the dance where
my least favorite scene in the movie.
Alien gets up and I thought it was
it's
all
just
right.
a filler scene.
Yeah, it's a filler scene.
I'm just watching it. I'm just like,
it's designed to show their camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, we're all fighting, but let's get up on the stage and dance. And it's the only scene with the alien dude what's his name?
Alien Orphan.
Alien Orphan that I can actually stand because he's not saying anything.
And they all just kind of reconvene again the next morning.
Yeah.
Sort of make amends without really talking about it. So I would assume this is something that happens more than... But just, they steal a TV, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course a muck would steal a TV.
Your big-ass TV.
Yeah, big-ass TV as ordered. And then they're constantly talking about how the world needs the specials, and one of the things that aggravates me is we didn't really get to see that. We see it through Nightbird, sort of, but that's the only character that we see the effect that the specials have had on people from when they were young until, where they are now. So I would have liked to see more of their effect on society. But again, this movie is about this one day where they're doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. I just felt like if the writing was stronger and the scenarios were stronger.
Yeah, I would have interspersed it maybe with some interviews from other people or something.
Yeah, see, that would have been one way to do it.
Specials are meaningful to them or something.
Yeah, see, that would have been a cool way to execute that.
Then they cut in Weevil is announcing that he's on the team.
And
when he kind of sells out Nightbird's
this
secret.
This is Nightbird.
But he looks so sad about it, though.
After he says it, he's like, oh, man.
And I love it, because, he just knows he's selling his soul.
Yeah.
And,
probably a Batman
just like
Forever
the
joke.
Yeah,
the nipples
Batman,
on his...
the nipples reference.
Yeah.
Was pretty great.
Yeah.
And that was...
And then the scene at the end where they show their superpowers, I was like, this is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
So the idea of this movie is really great. And in the perfect version of this movie, you never show their superpowers, but you give us the sense that they have them. Mm-hmm. And then you develop these scenarios that show us the chemistry between these characters despite their differences. I really got the feeling that these characters don't like each other at all and never have, but are together because they can make money together. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see a version where we understand,
Well, even Weevil kind of says that about Mr. Smart. When they're like, oh, nobody on the team doesn't belong there. Except for Mr. Smart. He never washed out.
Poor Mr. Smart.
Yeah. Or he washed out. And I don't know if you saw the after credits thing.
There was an after credits.
It's
I
literally
fast-forwarded it, but I must have missed it.
It's just a still shot of Stretchy Boy.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
Just in loving memory.
Well, see, we were talking about that. I was wondering if it was the person that was representing Stretchy Boy as, the actor.
Oh, no.
What actually died? That's the impression I got, but Amy was
Mr. Smart is dead, though.
Mr. Smart is dead?
He died at 40.
Oh, that's
just
too bad.
Suddenly, I didn't see why. I think they just said suddenly died.
The girl who played Nightbird was good.
Jordan Ladd?
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen her in anything else. I'm glad I watched it. I don't really hate anything. I learned something from every movie I watch, and the idea of this movie is really what I took from it. So
I figured a 2.5 then.
No.
2? Lower? 1?
But what's the lowest I can give them?
I don't know.
Just the execution was the problem for me. The actors gave it their best, but the screenplay was only okay, and the directing just kind of
Yeah.
threw all that out.
So you give it like a half star?
A half star. I'd give it a star. I'd give it a star because I have given half stars on Letterboxd, which is where I do my reviews.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd give it a star. But you know, it was thankfully brief and had a really good idea behind it. So I am glad that I watched it.
Because in my book, it's like a 2.5.
I liked the conversation we had about it, and that opened my eyes to a lot of things that I really missed about the movie that are kind of under the surface that I think could be brought forward for someone.
Let's rewrite it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's rewrite it and then refilm it. All right, so for next week, we're going to watch our second Ewan McGregor movie. It's called Beginners.
Oh, I've seen that one.
You seen it?
No.
I was about to say, it's on my list as you having not seen it. You probably have.
No, yeah. I can't watch movies anymore because of this podcast.
I was like, gonna watch this. Yes, Dan, just watch the movie. I've got a list of like 6 more, and then I'll be out, and then I'm gonna have to figure something out. We'll have to watch maybe some more recent ones that you missed or whatever.
That's fine with me.
But yeah, it was a good flick. It's kind of an indie drama. I think you'll dig it. So I'm wanting to watch it again. So
better.
Figured it was a good pick. Thank you guys for listening. As always, this has been Show and Tell. My name is Jesse Hughes.
And I am Daniel A. Gilmore.
Take it easy.
Thank you.